Hi, welcome to Craft Little Things. I'm Andrea and I'm going to show you how to make this card today. This card's quite special because it's for a challenge. If you look at a link below, you'll see that this is a card, well, one of 5 cards in a set. That's to go to the lovely Gaynor Boyce over on Stamp with Joy, who is doing another amazing challenge. She asks people to send in 5 cards to her, which then she distributes onwards to people who then sell them to raise money for charity. She's just finished a challenge for cancer charities, which has raised created thousands and thousands of cards, and she's started one now, which is to raise money for diabetes and for autism. As you know, diabetes is something that's very close to my heart right now. My nephew died of type 1 diabetes in December. He was just 18. He was fit and healthy otherwise. Type 1 diabetes is not caused by lifestyle choices. It's not caused by being overweight. It's not caused by poor diet or lack of exercise. That's type 2. Type 1 is an autoimmune condition. If you're going to get it, you're going to get it, and there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do to cure it either, contrary to what some people say, that it can be cured. In type 1 diabetes, the cells which produce insulin, which is an essential enzyme in the body, are completely destroyed by the body's own immune system, and they do not regenerate. The only way you can live with type 1 diabetes is to have insulin injections and to monitor your food intake as a result. The other thing is that if, like in my nephew's case and other cases, he's not the only one, type 1 diabetes goes unrecognised, it can turn into a condition called DKA, which is diabetic ketoacidosis, and that is what kills people with type 1 eventually if they develop it. DKA can be reversed and it can be treated if it's spotted early enough. If it's not spotted early enough, the body effectively poisons itself, goes into cardiac arrest and dies, which is exactly what happened to Ben. It's difficult to spot for anybody, but Ben even went to 7 different medical and nursing professionals and not one of them noticed what was wrong with him, and he was definitely in DKA and demonstrating classic symptoms. If you think that, I'll link below to some information on Ben's Trust's website if you want to know more about diabetes and why it's important to me and know more about Ben. I'm one of the trustees of that charity. But I just wanted to do this and send some cards to Gaynor to show support for her challenge. I'm hoping that I might be able to make some more, but I'm going to send at least the 5 that she asked people to try to send. There are some rules around how to package your cards, and you have to pop them with an envelope and they have to be in a cello bag when you send them to her. If you use Stampin' Up products, you have to copyright Stampin' Up on the back. But you can go over there and find out how to join in this challenge. It's an amazing challenge, and it's just so easy to make 5 cards. It gives you a great excuse to practice making cards and to send them off for the challenge. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I needed to make this card, and I've got another 4 to make, so I'm going to run through just one of those with you, but I'm going to show you the bits and bobs that I've got for all 4. So first of all then, the envelopes. These envelopes I just bought from Stampin' Up. You can use any envelope really. These are standard 6, just over 6 by just over 4. I think they've got a name, haven't they? They're a C something card, I can't remember. Hang on, let me just have a look. A C6 envelope. And these are available from Stampin' Up in the Whisper White or in the very vanilla. And all I've done is I've used a retired, well, it's from last year's celebration, Avant Garden, which was such a popular freebie. And I've just used this stamp here, and I've used also retired Perfect Plum. It's one of my favourite colours. I've also used Perfect Plum cardstock. And all I did for the envelopes was I just stamped off and then stamped into the corner there. So you're going to need 5 of those if you're doing the challenge. And then 5 card bases, and I've used the Perfect Plum card base, and I've just used the classic 8 by, it's not quite 6, it's 8 by 5 and 7/8 because I wanted to get 2 out of a sheet. So that's 8 by 5 and 7/8. Let me just get my centimetres out. Yeah, so we're 20.3 by 14.9 centimetres there, and then we scored at 4 inches, which is 10.2 centimetres. Okay, then to go on top of that layer, I've done a Whisper White layer to go on top of the card base, and these measure 5 6/8 by 3 7/8. So 5 6/8 then is 5 6/8. 5 3/4 for 6/8. So that measures 14.6 centimetres by 9.8 centimetres, and they're just plain Whisper White. And then I took this lovely foiled paper from, it's a retired paper, I can't remember what it's called, but it's a lovely foiled, it's got foiled touches, and this actual design I didn't like, but I love it in this card. And this is 5.5 inches by 3 5/8. So that's 14 centimetres by 9.2 centimetres. And that'll go on top of there. And then for the inside, for the inside of the card, I just added a little white piece to write on. And I did that Stampin' Off technique again. So these are just offcuts from the other bits. These measure 3 7/8 by 2.5. So that's 9.8 centimetres by 6.4 centimetres. They're for the insides. Then for the card itself, I've used this lovely 2 ribbons, I think both of which are retired. This is a lovely sort of velvet ribbon that came in a duo with a pink version as well. And I think that was in last year's, might have been this year's Spring and Summer catalogue. And then the silver really fine ribbon. I just laid those over the top of each other. And I've got 2 pieces of those in sort of about 4 3/4 to 5 inches pieces. Okay, and they'll just go across the front of the card. And then for the sentiment, I used Happy Birthday Wishes again from the Avant Garden set, and I stamped it using Perfect Plum onto a Whisper White stitch shape oval, and then a Perfect Plum stitch shape oval, and then a silver mirror card stitch shape oval. Now, I didn't use the Stampin' Up stitch shapes because they weren't right for what I wanted. They were too big. And so I used a set that I bought off eBay a long time ago, which just have a little bit more, there's a few more to it, and they're a little bit narrower. And the smallest one is a bit bigger than the Stampin' Up smallest one, so you can fit a bigger sentiment in. So I used that. The other things you're going to need are some Tombow, a bone folder, some scissors, some dimensionals, and I used a little bit of washi tape just to secure the ribbon on the back. But that's about it. I'm just going to take a drink. I'm so thirsty today. It's a massive glass of juice. Right. So let's get started then. I can put the envelopes aside, as I said. They're done. So I'm just going to burnish the score line on my card. And I'm going to take the white panel. Before I do anything else, I'm just going to take my Stampin' Up! Copyright stamp, which I have always glued to a block. I'm just going to stamp that on the back of my card because we have to do that as Stampin' Up! Demonstrators. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, but I'm what you call a hobby demo, in that I don't sell anything. I just take advantage of the demonstrator offers. And then there we go, pop that on there. Still got glitter everywhere from yesterday. And then what you need to do next is, while I'm building up my front, I'm just going to pop my little bit in the back. I just wanted to show you that the one on the left is without stamping off and the one on the right is with stamping off. So it's up to you which one you choose. I'm definitely going with the stamped off one because I just want it to be a bit more subtle. There we go. Just pop that in and let that dry while you're making your front. So for the front then you need these pieces of ribbon. Now what I do is lay my card down on my grid paper or just use a ruler, and this is 5.5. So we know that the middle of our ribbon needs to come at 2 3/4. So our ribbon needs to be laid down sort of just between 1/2 and 3. The right way up would be good. So just between 2.5 and 3. So what I do is I just keep my card there, and then I just run my Tombow up at that 2 3/4 mark, and then just lay my ribbon on and use the grid lines to get it straight. Okay, and then I just do exactly the same, run some Tombow up the middle of that piece, and stick my silver on straight down the middle. Okay, and then I turn it over, and just to give it extra stick I use some washi tape just to secure it. And now you can either use 2 pieces of washi tape or 1 piece straight across the back. Just give it a final check that it's straight. And then secure it down. Okay. And then cover the back of your card with Tombow. Make sure you put some on those bits there. card. I'm not sure there is a right way up, to be honest. And then use your bone folder just to smooth it down. And you just push out to the edges to make sure that you've got your glue squidged right up to the edge. That's all stuck down nicely. Just keep opening it just to make sure that it hasn't stuck together on the inside. Now I'm going to pop some glue on the back of my Happy Birthday Wishes oval. And I'm going to stick it to the back, to the front of one of my purple ones. Get that pressed down. And then I'm going to use dimensionals, and I did get some dimensionals out, there they are. I'm going to use dimensionals just to stick that to the silver foil. The only reason I use dimensionals for this, apart from to give it some dimension, is because it just stops it from sliding around. Okay, and then I use dimensionals on the back of the silver foil to add it to my card. Just peeling off the back. Okay, and then I just position that in the centre of my card. Give it a little press, turn it down, give it a press on the back, and that's it. There's my card done. And that's going to go into an envelope, with an envelope into a cellophane bag and be sealed up and sent off to Gaynor. So that's 2 cards there. And then I'm just going to make the other 3. There's my first 5 cards then that are going to the lovely Gaynor.